In today's video, I want to feature someone who I think is an amazing man, a faithful pastor, and an awesome leader. The person that I'm talking about is Pastor Corey Brooks in the South Side of Chicago. Pastor Brooks is currently leading a very important campaign called Rooftop Revelations, where he's living on the rooftop of a building in Chicago for 100 days to raise money for a community center that is desperately needed on O Block called Opportunity Zone. I wanted to feature some clips from a recent segment that he did that really exposes what's going on in so many black communities. And he pulls no punches in honestly calling out those who are responsible. Let's check it out.
But when I heard defund the police, I heard differently than many Americans outside of our community. I feared that these Americans, in their rush to separate themselves from the death of George Floyd, were actually creating more horror. Because my neighborhood is violent. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The police do everything they can to keep us safe here. I wanted to send a message to the police, and I wanted them to know that they mattered, that they had not been abandoned, that people still had their back, and we wanted them to still have our back. Because we in this community know the truth. No police equals more carnage. But Black Lives Matter and the Democrats refused to listen. They kept chanting, defund the police, defund the police, including those in our leadership, in our city. Bodies kept piling up, and they didn't care. They cared more about politics than lives. Absolutely outrageous. Now these Democrats, now they've had the bitter taste of reality. Now they want to refund the police. Are you freaking kidding me? I buried some of these folks who would have been alive if it were not for this defund the police nonsense. These Black Lives Matter folks and these Democrats, they never came to one of these funerals. You know why? They don't care.
So they just got the right. Now Pastor Brooks is gonna hit them with the left.
And the truth today is that Black Lives Matter exploited the death of George Floyd and made millions off of what they call the pain of black people. What angers me is how disrespectful and selfish Black Lives Matter is. They claim to care about black people more than anyone, but where are they? What makes me especially mad is that we have had black lives and blacks like these who milked black pain for money ever since we came out of slavery. It shames me to see brothers and sisters exploiting our pain. It truly does. Let that be a dark mark on the heads of BLM. The jig is up.
The truth that he is exposing makes him very unpopular and, in some cases, despised. Law enforcement has become the convenient scapegoat for our failure as families, the failure of our churches, the failure of our municipal leadership. And he is brave enough and bold enough to speak out about it when he is surrounded by people in leadership that don't want to hear it. Because quite frankly, many of them don't live with the consequences. They don't live on O Block. They don't want to live anywhere near O Block. Many of them don't want to fix the problem and don't want to do what is needed, like he said, to fix the problem, because they profit off of the pain and the suffering of the people they claim to serve. And this scam that BLM ran, unfortunately, if you're as old as we are, this isn't anything new. Now, it hasn't been done on this massive of a financial scale, but if you were born in the late 70s like I am, then you grew up watching race baiters and poverty pimps manipulate their way into millionaires, while the people they claim to speak for And the people they claim to care for and support, their lives have gotten worse. Their communities have disintegrated even further because they never cared about addressing the problem. They only cared about enriching themselves. And they are the people who need to be canceled. And they definitely need to be continuously called out. We know who they are. We know what they're about. It is that corporate media, big tech, big government machine that is in bed with these people. Because at the end of the day, it keeps them wealthy and it keeps them in power. And that's why it's so ridiculous that people like Pastor Corey Brooks and people like myself, they call sellouts. When actuality, they sold out their communities a long time ago. Like Pastor Brooks said, we cannot allow these things to continue to happen. And in order for that to not be the case, then it takes brave men and women, no matter what your background is, no matter what your skin tone is, to stand up for truth and expose corruption, lies, and darkness. We don't have a choice. So Pastor Brooks, thank you for speaking the truth. Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for taking the fiery dots that are being aimed at you because of what you're doing. So let me encourage everyone who sees this video to follow the links in the description, to go to Pastor Brooks's website, find out more about the ministry outreach that he is doing, and also go through, I think that every video in this series, this should be family time to watch this. This is educational, it's inspirational. He is exposing a lot of things that the elites and the aristocracy don't want to talk about, because this scheme that they're running and this division that they're sowing is what keeps them enriched and what keeps them in power. And it needs to stop. So please like and share this video, share this channel with everybody in your social circles. Support Pastor Corey Brooks and everything that he's doing. And please keep supporting our shields. God bless.